Welcome back, everyone, to our Catbot Cafe for this week. As always, excited to be here. And this week, again, we have some very exciting news. So let's get right into it. Over to you, Enkoy.
Thanks, Jen. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody on the show. Thanks for coming and joining us tonight. We got a fun show tonight. We have shoutouts as usual, 3D sneak peeks, roadmap update, Korean community update, giveaway review, community questions and suggestions, and announcements. So let's get right to it with the shoutouts. We had some wonderful meetups happen this week in real life, coming together, having fun. That's what we're all about at Catbotica. We have Tiger Lake, Skywalker, and Wave who met up for Korean community managers lunch. Awesome. That looks delicious, by the way. We have Pink Robin on her ride with her Catbot companion. Let's go. Thank you, Pink Robin. You're always posting the best posts and most entertaining things. That's an awesome motorcycle.
Pink Robin, just shout out to her for, she seems like to be living such an awesome life. Like all the things she's doing, seems such a dynamic personality. Love to see her finally in person when we do our next event at the Han River. So yeah, nice bike.
I love that she takes that Catbot everywhere she goes with the pink hoodie. So cute.
That's right. Her constant companion.
Yeah, we had another community led holder meetup in Seoul. Wow, you guys are just meeting up left and right. Last week was fun. That looks so much fun. Jen, you weren't there.
Things have opened up when it comes to COVID. They're allowing a lot more people to meet up in larger groups. So I think you'll start to see a lot more activity to happen. Everyone's been chomping at the bit to be able to meet IRL. It's great to see people be able to get together. And they do a great job editing those Catbot heads too, making sure it's all nice, clean, and covers the face, proportionate too. It's great to see everyone just congregate together.
Yeah, it's so fun to see people get together, and it's also fun to see people making these really cool webtoons from the Cacao channel, and I think some of our team members got into it too. So Mel, it's time for Meownagers. This webtoon's from Baby Feet. It says, "Get up, I peed." This webtoon from Cat Dad says, "When will you give me nano cats?" Not sure who this one is from, but it says, "Get up, you have to sign up for the cruise." Oh, the cruise is coming up. This webtoon from Wave says, "Get up, you need 100 catbots." Wave with his 100 catbots. Another one from Wave that says, "Get up, you have to go to Pangyo Land." All right, fun activity, guys. If you want to make more of your little own webtoons, head over to the Discord. We'll post a link on how to do that. So be sure to check that out. It's always fun to read these things. Here's some fan art posted from Isaac Jung's Twitter page. VCon and NV1's dropping May 20th. All right, guys, May 20th, that's a big deal. Mark that date on your calendars. We're so excited to lead up to NV1's. That's why later on in the show, Jin will soon share about the greater roadmap. So keep watching, guys. The 3D team, as always, is making progress. If you haven't yet checked out the Mech.Game trailer, let's just take a look at it real quick. We actually work together with the Mech.Game team there, their 3D team. They're very talented as well. So it was really fun to collab and work on this trailer together. So stay tuned. We're going to be launching some sick 3D trailers for Catbotica as well. This is the Catbotica quality. We're committed to delivering the highest level at the highest quality. That is the way. We wouldn't want to do it any other way. So shout out to Mech.Game and to the 3D team and Will. I mean, all the mechs that you saw in those shots, those were built within our 3D pipeline. So I just want you to imagine like replacing those mechs with actually 3D Catbots. You haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, guys. So the Mech.Game, and that's just an awesome, incredible trailer. Just a quick note though, do your own research, DYOR. The projects and the video trailers or sequences that we show are not meant to be advocating or promoting any of the products, any of the projects that we have that we're working with. Really what we just want to show is that was a great collaboration with the fantastic team over with Tanner and Mech.Game. And it's really just to show you guys, how we are contributing to the project and also the experience of collaboration and the kind of quality that we're producing as well. So please do take note, do your own research. We're not advocating you should purchase or buy into that particular project, but we just had a great time and we just really appreciate the team. So sending them some support and love. So just wanted to put a quick note in for that.
The main reason we're showing this is I just want you to close your eyes or just watch the trailer again and imagine 3D catbots instead of those mechs. I mean, this is the level that we're working at. We have a fantastic team and fantastic quality artists here. And it was really fun working with the Mech.Game team on that also as well. So this is the Catbotica quality the Catbotica team is committed to. So we wouldn't want it any other way. And now for my favorite part of the show, it's the 3D section. And today on the show, we got Sunny, who's going to feature one very special trait. So what's that trait we got, Sunny?
Hey guys, yeah, so before I tell you guys what the trait is, I'm going to show it off with this 13-second animation that I worked on. Go.
What? Look at that gold. Looks gorgeous.
So yeah, I hope that's gotten you guys more excited for the 3D catbots. And let's jump right into the blend file here. So yeah, no, first of all, I just want to credit the whole 3D team. 3D team's doing an amazing job working on 3D stuff. This Techno is looking amazing. The models and the shaders, everyone's working on is just amazing stuff. So much detail, and hopefully that translates well over into the GLB files. So yeah, and I'm personally really excited to show off this Techno because as you can see right here, I have a catbot that has a Techno.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm super pumped. And it's really cool because I think this is one of the first accessories we're showing off fully shaded in kind of with a catbot, correct? I think.
Oh yeah, look at a full catbot. Actually,
yeah, we got a full catbot right here. That's right.
Teeth. I kind of see the teeth on the left corner there. Anyway, we're not going to go into shit. But
Right.
yeah, these catbots actually open and close their mouths, and we're actually going to show a fully rigged catbot pretty soon. So you stay tuned. Like, but for now, let's just take a look at this Techno Owl.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, so I'm gonna go a little closer here.
Whoa.
Should I just hop out of camera view? All right. So I've got the head here, and we animated it. Turned on, lights turn on, and turned the head. Cool. Maybe even in the GLB animation, we could have the the blades of the eyes kind of opening and closing. I think
camera iris,
cool.
yeah.
Right, exactly. And yeah, just checking out these gold shaders, just so much detail. The edge wear is amazing. Scratches, very subtle, but it adds so much to this asset. So super pumped to show this off in the final 3D cap with the final 3D catbots.
Amazing work, Sunkyo.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so sick as usual. Give some love out to the 3D team and the chat. There's lots of chats about the future for Catbotica, and this week we caught this exchange between Skywalker, Sawju, Miner88, Mr. No. We're talking about the utilities of NV1. So I'm just going to read this chat and let's, maybe get some clarity from Way of Jin and see if any of this is true or not. So not sure, but they're considering splitting Catron into Rtron and Dtron. Rtron can be made from NV1s and Dtron can be made from NV2s. Launch order is NV1, Replicats, NV2s, Descendants, Catron line. Soju responded, Rtron and Dtron, I wonder how it will be used separately in the metaverse in the future. Rtron, Dtron, must be the same metaverse. Isn't it possible to distinguish between the different uses of the games and metaverse and other utilities? It's just a personal idea. Anyway, I'm so excited, as we are, and I know what everyone wants to hear about tonight, and that's why on the show we got Way of Jin here to share some roadmap updates. So Way of Jin, show us the greater roadmap. Show us the way.
Yes, so this week, what we're planning on doing is going through the NV1 sequence once again, just to make sure that people are keyed in and tuned in. And then next week, before we actually launch, as you know, 520 is the date that we are launching the redemption of the NV1s. We wanted to also give you a bigger sense of what the roadmap is. So one of the things is we have increased pretty dramatically from the original roadmap that we initially started the project off with, to include a whole bunch of different components and verticals and elements that we have been working hard at and haven't really been able to communicate or being able to really put into one package to share with you all. So next week, we're going to get more into that. So for this week, we're showing again the NV1 process and sequence of what you can do with your NV1s. And if you look at the slide shows that we have currently, this is how it currently looks. So you start again with the 2D Catbot, you burn in NV1, and you create your 3D Catbot replicat. If you have 5 of the 3D Catbots and you burn 4 NV1s, you can turn into the Catron. That's kind of like going to be one of the big Monties. And the references that people are making to the Artron, Vtron, those are code names that we're currently just playing around with to see and see what sticks and see what the best way to name the Catrons. So going back into this diagram here, going from the 9 o'clock position, the 3D Catbot replicat, if you burn additional NV1s, you'll be able to get also an upgraded asset as well. Then going to the right-hand side of the diagram at the 1 o'clock, future 2D NFTs, going back to the reinforcing the notion that the NV collection, the NV lines, are meant to take a 2D asset and convert it into a 3D asset. So you'll see that apply in future collections as well. So any future 2D NFTs, you can take your NV1s and burn that to take your 2D NFT and turn it into a 3D asset. So this is something that I do want to make sure that we are stressing or emphasizing that NV1s will have additional utility. So be very strategic as to how it is that you plan on working with your NV1s. Hopefully that gives a little bit of a recap on where we currently are with the NV1s. And we look forward to taking any questions you have further for next week as well.
Just a reminder, on May 20th, you will be able to start minting your NV1s. Anybody with a Genesis token, meaning anybody with a 2D Catbot, will be able to mint an NV1. So Jin, how do people get their NV1s, and what's the plan for that, the distribution?
So yeah, so May 20th, you will go onto the website. The page will open and be available to be able to redeem your NV1. Once you redeem your NV1, it will show up in your wallet, whether it's on OpenSea or LooksRare or whatever system or whatever platform you're using. It will be, there are no gas and transaction fees as we promised for the NV1 systems, that it would be quote unquote an airdrop. This particular system, the way we've done it with the redemption, was done really from the standpoint of security and also simplicity for the contract. I won't get into too much of the details because Blockchain Foundry, they are the pros and experts when it comes to security, especially when it comes to blockchain. So that this is how we were, they set up the system. NV1s and NV2s are going to be part of the same contract. So it was something where we do have a 2-week redemption period in which if you redeem those during those 2 weeks, there will be some bonus incentives that we will get into next week as well. And if you fall outside of the 2-week incentives, so from May 20th all the way to June 3rd, after June 3rd, we will be airdropping them to your wallet. So that is something that we do need to get the NV1s all out, and then we can then, I guess, clear the decks to be able to get into the NV2s. So again, that particular sequence, just from a contractual standpoint, we're doing many complex transactions or functions in that contract. So they advise this is the best way to be able to do that. So again, any questions that you have, please let us know. We'll try to clarify as best we can on Discord.
Okay, so once someone gets an NV1, what can they do with it?
Yeah, that's a big question that I think that we are attempts to communicate and our ability to share with you the infographics that is meant to essentially get there. But this is where the larger roadmap is going to be really important for that. So that once you get the NV1s, which is happening on May 20th, and the redemption period after June 3rd, The next sequence in that, of course, is the replicats. But because of the way the contracts are being set up, NV1 contract and NV2 contracts are one contract. Then we have the replicats and sends in contract in a separate contract as well. As you can see with the great work that the 3D team is doing, big huge shout out to them, just fantastic work. We are going through the process of creating all the 3D assets. Once the 3D assets are completed, then we're going to go through the process of putting them together in a replicat and all the testing that goes into that, and then sending that over to the tech team to be able to then put that into the testing for the actual contract itself. All this is really just to share with you some of the details as to there's going to be a gap between June 3rd when the redemption period ends and actually when we can launch the replicat date. So that date itself is still TBD. We are getting very close to that launch as well. But that gap is a gap that we do need to communicate with you guys that at first, when you get the NV1s, you can buy, sell, and trade, but you're not going to be able to actually do anything quite there with it yet. And part of that is that the first application of it is going to be the replicats, but as we're going to show next week as well, if we've kind of indicated, there are many other elements or points in which you can use the NV1s, and that's going to be part of the larger roadmap. So yeah, so that's going to be how you can use your NV1s beyond actually right after you get the redemption and beyond the redemption period itself.
Very cool. I'm really interested to see what people decide to do, whether they make a 3D replicat or they hold on to it for something in the future. I think that this is all part of the excitement and the conversations and the language that we can create within Catbotica. So super happy, super excited.
Yep. And that's one thing, just a quick note on the decision trees. That's something that me personally, going through the full, the 18 months that I've been in the space, is just seeing when you have these decision trees, especially someone that, is pretty avid user or, really just loves NFTs and is all the different ecosystems and different ways you can use and apply NFTs, both in ways that are tried and true and also innovative ways. This is where we're really trying to push the limits as to how to engage into an NFT ecosystem and really create a really robust, fun world, a universe that we're creating here for you guys. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what decisions people ultimately make. That your decisions will actually have a role in what happens, because if say only 3,000 replicats are made, that's it. 3,000 replicats are going to be made. You're not going to have a full collection. So those are all the things where the gamification of NFT really becomes a tremendous amount of fun and really engaging. So hopefully you guys have as much fun with it as we have been setting it up for you guys.
Speaking of fun, last week, for those who stuck around after the Catbot Cafe, we had our first Catbotica jackpot session, and lucky winners picked out a Catbot, 2 VAT packs of NV2s, Discord Nitro subscriptions, and even a gift card for Starbucks. So if you're one of those lucky winners from last week and haven't claimed your prize, DM Grant in the Discord as soon as possible. This week's pickers are Labmouse, Gatter, and Ilgami. So hop into the Catbotica Discord holder voice chat channel shortly after the stream to tune in. One lucky viewer in this YouTube live chat will also be chosen. Possible Rumble sessions for more picks as well. So let's have fun tonight. See you on the Discord voice chat. Fun, fun, fun everywhere. There's also some fun activities happening at Pangyoland. Jen, what's happening over there?
Yeah, we're so excited for what's going on at Pangyoland starting this week here in Korea in the Pangyo Hyundai department store. And one of the things that we did for this particular exhibition and event was really focus on the kids, since it's family month, and this is tied into the kids and parents days, the past couple of days of holidays. So it will be a very kid-centric type of event. We have several zones. One zone is where we are going to be launching My Catbot. I think this is actually the first time we're actually sharing about this. It's going to be a very exciting, very fun app where you can actually create your own Catbot and be able to print it out in color. So that's going to be really for people on site to be able to engage with and work on. So we'll have a creation zone and we'll have a coloring zone. And then we'll also have a exhibition there as well. I believe we have one of the floor plans just to show what it's going to look like. And Yeah, we're very excited to see what's going to go on with that. So that's going to, just a reminder that that's going to start on the 13th and run all the way to the 29th. So there will be 3 weekends of events that we are planning for at the Pangyoline event, and we'll keep you updated as to things that are going to be happening with that. And my Catbot is me personally just going through the process. I was just having so much fun with it. I think you guys have a blast with that. Another big part of this is we also have an incredible activity book that Rawls has put together. So over to you, Rawls. Walk us through the book.
Yeah, thanks, man. So this is the cover of the Catbotica coloring book. This coloring book is kind of special to me. I've always wanted to do a coloring book as an artist, and so getting to do Catbotica and a coloring book is 2 dreams all wrapped up in one. So this is really cool. I can't wait to show you this. So this is the cover, really splashy and colorful and fun. And on the inside, this is the interior cover for the book. And here you have the first page of the coloring book. Now this first page is kind of an homage to the original Catbot that I created. You can actually see it if you go to my Instagram and scroll way down. You can see the original drawing of this Catbot, and so I thought it would be fun to kind of do an homage to that first sketch by making the first page of the coloring book kind of match that. So this is the first page. And as I was, interesting note is, as I was going through this coloring book, creating it, my wife suggested, she says, what if you made it, more fun, like putting activities in there? And I thought that was a great idea, because I've also always wanted to do things like mazes and, crosswords and all that. So I thought, and that's why if you notice on the cover of the coloring book, it doesn't say coloring book, it says activity book. So it's not a coloring book. It's got more than that. So you'll see, this is page 1. This is page 2. You got some little guys hidden in there. There's lots of little details. And then we have a maze, which is really fun. You get to help the little mouse go through the maze and find the cheese at the center of the maze. So I've got lots of variety of pages. Here you got some emojis you can color. Here's kind of like a blueprint of the Catbot. Here's some cats with some other little creatures on it, which is a fun page for kids. Here's a decked out Catbot, lightning bolts. And then you have a word search, which is also fun. So lots of fun things in here for people to do. You got a catch-ron, which is super rad. You got the little kittening chamber. Just a little sketchy page. So there's lots of fun pages for everybody. Everybody loves color. Here's another maze. Help the queen feliner find its home. So yeah, there's lots of fun little tidbits in here. There might be some little Easter eggs. Of course, we've got pizza, because we all love pizza night, and donuts. And yeah, I even have this page for kids or adults. I shouldn't just say kids, because I know some of you adults will like to do this too, where you can draw your own Catbot's face and details on the Catbot and then color it. Yeah, so that's about it. There's a whole bunch of other pages in there that I'll just kind of through. This is a really fun one. I spent a long time doing this one. This is a spot the difference page. There's 15. I tested this out. I actually tested this on Will and Will's kids and my kids. And so I made sure that the details in here were good enough. They weren't too easy, but they weren't too hard. So I think everybody will enjoy that spot the difference page. Some flowery birds and stuff. And then there's the end of the book. That's it. And then you got the answers in the back. So that's it. Hope you all enjoy it. Have fun doing the book if you can grab a copy.
Oh man, Rawls, that's so cool. I like your haircut too, by the way. Yeah, so all those coloring books are going to be available at the Pangyo event, and we're actually going to bring some back to the States. And we're going to figure out how to get those all out to the world and shared with the world so that people can enjoy that fun activity book. So thanks so much, Rawls. Pangyo Land, coloring books. I also heard about a cruise coming up. And actually, there's a question from Gadabis who commented, I have a question. I've got a Catbotica in my Descenta wallet. Can I apply for a cruise? So Jin, why don't you tell us about the cruise and all the how people can get on there?
So the cruise event itself is happening on June 11th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. It is on the Han River, and we have all the details are on Discord if you'd like to find out exactly how you can sign up and how to get on the guest list itself. There is a limit of 300 people for the cruise itself, so there are going to be limited spots. But yeah, we're very excited for the event itself. We are going to be serving food on there as well. We have a talent show planned. It's going to be, just awesome just to see holders coming together and just being able to network. So that's so excited to see what's going to happen with that. And now that things have started to loosen up over here in Korea, it's going to be just a fantastic event for people just to be able to start to congregate again together and just have a great time. So very much looking forward to that as well.
So cool. So we actually have a feliner moving out in outer space, and I'm actually receiving a transmission from there. So let's hear what's coming in.
Greetings, Catboticans. NV1 backpack production coming online. Initial participants in NV1 redeem process may be rewarded. 2D Catbot Genesis metadata, also showing additional signs of utility. Details to follow. Carry on, Catboticans.
Did everybody get that message? Excellent. Next up, we got Jin and Renee. How you guys doing?
Great. It's exciting to be here again,
So good.
week after week.
Always awesome to see Renee with us to share some words of wisdom.
I have some new topics for our friends. We're the partners. We're all discussing what kind of education the community would like to have. So we'd love to have some feedback. Would you prefer to have education on 3D, Unreal, Blender, for example, technical? Would you like to have education on starting your own company? Education on being an angel investor? Education on the process of creativity and innovation? And focusing for the moment on what is top of mind for a lot of people in the field is the economy. And the economy from the point of view of markets, you've got the stock market, the crypto market, the NFT market. If you remember 2 years ago, in the 2020, just as COVID was starting to get noticed, the stock market dropped, the cryptos followed, but the cryptos regained faster than the stock market. So there is a relationship. When stock market's dropping, like recently, you'll see the crypto market drop, which impacts the price of Ethereum, which impacts the price of buying NFTs. So coins got two sides, a hand's got two sides. There's the good and the bad. Sometimes you're happy when Ethereum goes down because you can buy it cheaper, or you can buy NFTs cheaper with lower cost NFTs. Ethereum rather. Sometimes when you're selling, you like to see a high Ethereum price. And so there's good and bad in the price movements of Ethereum. On the topic of movements, there's many factors that make the topic of the market price complex. You have professionals that are shorting the market. You got people that are borrowing on their Ethereum or their stocks. And when the market goes down, the brokers call the loans effectively. And the market goes deeper because people have to satisfy what's called margin calls. And so you have all these factors. You've got trading systems that impact the movement and the speed of the movement. And speed of the movement is more so in the crypto market than it is in the stock market. And people don't realize, if you see Ethereum at $2,200 and it goes to 3,300, that's a $1,100 profit for people who bought in at $2,200. You're going to have many, many sellers. You're going to have a large resistance of going higher than 3,200 because people have made in a week, a month, 3 weeks, they made 50% return, which is unseen in the stock market. And so the validity of cryptos and the gains that people can make, whether individuals or professionals, the returns are huge. And so hoping that Ethereum is going to go to 4,000, 5,000, 10,000, hoping that Ethereum 2.0 is going to bring a boost to the price of Ethereum, one has to take into account that there's going to be sellers as there's an increase in price because the gains are enormous in this industry. And so between trading systems, short selling, margin calls, the trading systems themselves, people making very high profits, it's really hard to predict the timing. Even if you have a long-term belief in a crypto, that long-term belief is affected by sellers along the way. The NFT market space is really all about judging who the long-term players will be, that have the staying power, that have the management skills, that aren't just going into business for the first time without any experience about cash flow, about expenses, about hiring, about the cost to take the project through its roadmap. So you really have to judge the team and the expertise of the individuals on the team when you pick the projects.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wanted to ask you, pick your brain, because with Renee, we have someone who's got decades of experience in business and seeing market cycles and seeing the ups and downs of not just like stocks, but also even the internet and all the different things that have happened along the way. When it comes to market sentiment and when it comes to kind of the emotional quotient of where people are at when markets do go down or up, all the stuff that we're sharing, of course, is it's not financial advice of any kind, and really just it's anecdotal based on our experiences, and also really for just education. Because one of the things is that having Renee with us here, we have such an incredible resource. So we obviously want to share with our community some of the insights that he shares with us on a regular basis as to when he sees something happening, how to respond or react, or to at least understand what factors are at play so that you can make more of an informed decision. Is there anything, Renee, outside of a crypto or NFT, but more from a general marketplace conditions and sentiment, how do you navigate, or how have you seen markets respond or are impacted in certain ways that we see similarities happening today?
If you look historically at the professional trader, professional traders love to draw straight lines. And so you always see on the charts a line that's under all the underlying bottoms. And they always say the system will trigger when you go below that line. I personally believe that the trading methods are flawed, but they're running the system. They're flawed because life is exponential, logarithmic. Life is not a straight line. Your eyes, when you zoom in to something in film, there's something called the exponential zoom. If you want to feel, if you zoom into something and you want to have a natural feeling for your eyes zooming in, it's an exponential. You have to move the camera 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So nature is exponential, it's not linear. When you get a price going up in a chart, it's going to go down when the momentum slows down. So when you see momentum driving up a price, which is logarithmic, It's when the momentum breaks and it doesn't continue to go at the same speed, rate of change, that's when the markets crash. So if you see something that's going too exponential, I call it a hockey stick, at some point in time, it's going to crack and go down. And prices go down faster than they go up. So it can take a while to go up. And when the momentum stops and the increased buying does not continue with the same momentum, there's no buyers. Once it drops, there's no buyers buying. You're into margin calls, you're into no buyers, you're into prices that can go really seriously down. And all the people that drew straight lines are kind of late, because by the time it hits a straight line, it goes way past below where people think it'll go. So you're in a world of, are there buyers when the market goes down? And for a period of time, people are just waiting. We actually experienced that ourselves. When we saw our sellout on the reverse auction, people wait, once they saw that the market wasn't going up, the smart buyers waited. And they said, let's see where it goes down, how low it goes down, then we'll run in and buy. Why should they buy when a market's coming down? Just simply wait. When you see it pause, you see it stabilize and consolidate, then you walk in and buy. And so it's happened in our own situation with Catbotica when we sold out on the 19th of January, I believe. We watched the market go down until it reached a point that people were waiting for, and then they went in and bought. Similarly with the stock market, similarly with the crypto market at the moment. When it's going down, there's no buyers. So you wait until it stops going down and there's enough consolidation, enough people wanting to buy. And you go into the trend that people are happy with a 50% gain from that point. They don't need 100% gain in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks. Everyone's overjoyed in the other worlds of stocks at making 50%. The professional traders, they've never seen such returns. So I'm saying, yes, we may hit a very large, high price for cryptos one day, but to get there, you have to get past the people who are happy making 50% return. And then it bounces up.
Some just great points that you're making there. And part of this also when it comes to the NFT cycle in particular, because we were kind of zooming out for the larger macro, what are the trends happening? And there are things that are coming down the pipe that will certainly impact us. I'm going to go into a little bit on the NFT side of things, what I've experienced the past 18 months. But on the side of like things going down and buyers are, there's no buyers and no one's going to buy and things are going to keep going down, you accelerate past the point and then it comes back up. Can you speak more to what happens on the other side of it? Where are the opportunities here as well? Because, as Warren Buffett says, where there's fear, that's when you should be greedy. So where does your kind of take on that particular sentiment, or where are the opportunities for people here so that we can, give both sides of the coin? Because there's always going to be opportunities in any kind of marketplace. It's just how are you prepared or educated or trained or understand or even have the experience to know that there's always going to be a point where it comes back up. And, timing a market, you can never really time the market because there's so many factors like human sentiment. That's why, this conversation about, Renee, you've experienced so much of the human sentiment behind how a market moves and what happens in the market, that numbers just won't tell everything. So what is your take on that?
There's at least two aspects. One, I'm very much like everyone else. When the markets go down, I get a pit in my stomach. If I'm in a position, I don't know if I should sell or not sell or hold on. And sadly, too often I've sold. As soon as I sell, it goes up.
Right. We've all experienced that.
And so sometimes I tell myself, Renee, because you want to sell, don't. Because history has shown that emotionally, when you're selling, you shouldn't be. And so you have to know your own personality. You have to know your own risk tolerance. You have to know how much you can, what's going to wake you up at 2 a.m. Can you handle seeing a 20% drop in something you've invested in? So life forces you to get to know yourself, what you're capable of handling, what you're not capable of handling. There's nothing wrong with taking a profit too early. Nobody ever got poor making not enough profit. They won. They may not have won, they may not have sold at the top and bought at the bottom, but they didn't lose. And so you really have to get to understand your own personal ability to tolerate risk and failure and loss, because your emotions are going to dictate a lot of the decisions you make. The other aspect is general about technology. In 1967, when I was working at the National Film Board for the summer, I was friends with Norman McLaren, who was a grandfather of animation. I made the comment about, I had a Bolex 16mm, and said, isn't it exciting with so many people having more and more access to film cameras that we'll have such great films coming out? And he made a comment which I never forgot. He said, no, when technology becomes available to the masses, you get a greater volume of mediocrity. And so don't assume that access to technology by the masses gives you greater quantity of quality. So I kind of watched that for decades, from that year through the internet, as an example, year 2000, 2001. You had technology that was available to anyone who could do anything. And that just meant more garbage. The parallel is now, the easier it is for people to create their own NFTs and create their own projects, there's a risk that they won't be high quality. However, once you get past weeding out the garbage and selecting the excellence, after the internet, you had great companies that came out and survived, 2002, 3, 4, 5. And so similarly, NFT projects, you're going to have a lot of garbage in the field. And the key is finding the criteria, deciding on what the value system is to pick the projects that will come out like jewels and bubbles of diamonds. They'll be the long-term players and the high-quality players. And they'll be there. So the notion of greater volume of garbage may be valid for a period of time, but the exciting part is discovering which ones will win and be of high quality and succeed. That to me is the excitement. And so which NFT projects will be there 5 years and 10 years from now, and how will they evolve? And which ones will truly understand the medium of the metaverse, as it's called, Web3, whether it's Web 2.5, 3, whatever. You're gonna get a lot of mediocrity in those spaces, a lot of failures. And the question is, how do you judge the ones that have the right visions and the talent in-house? Not just at the creative level and the execution of graphics and or marketing, but as well the business side and knowing how to build companies. And we've talked about values being aligned. It doesn't matter how great the creative is and marketing is if the partners are fighting, if the values align, if there's greed, ego, dishonesty, that's going to kill the company. So it's really hard to make the effort to dig into the capability of the people building the company. I kind of went all over the map, but I'm trying to give a general observation about how difficult it is to judge.
Wow, that was just incredible. We all just got a huge dose of just a tremendous amount of words of wisdom from the ArcFather. A couple things that I'm taking away from what you were just saying is, you know, from the do your own research and DYOR, and this is not financial advice, really hewing to that. And if anything that could be taken away from this is know your own risk threshold and understand your own process or how you respond to these kind of the stimuli or events that happen. That's really the thing that I think, Renee, you coming into the picture, having gone through so many cycles of a pit drop in your stomach and then going catapult into stratospheric heights, engaging and understanding how you respond to. I think that's so important for today's environment, and also our community, is in light of not having the experience, being able to hear and understand people who have gone through the process, to know how you can have insights and glean myself individually, how I respond to this, because everyone's situation is going to be different. This is why we cannot be giving financial advice, because we simply don't know and are not equipped to know what people's financial situations are. What we can speak towards is the human emotion of the pit in your stomach and then the elation going up. Those are things that we have experienced in these contexts, and then when we can provide the context, but also from how vicariously, how have you experienced things. Those are the things that I think we can share just as anecdotes of our personal experiences. So just that human element of the emotional, how big of a factor the human emotion is when making these moves or watching the markets and see what happens and how we respond. I think that's an incredible point that we're making here for today. And then the point about the mediocrity, that kind of, yeah, sure, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jin.
Oh, well, I was going to segue into the segment about NFTs, but if you wanted to throw some other gems in there, please feel free.
There's a bit of an irony. We're talking about providing insights, but there's a story I'd like to share with our friends internationally. When I was in my early 20s, I said to my father, I want to put $500 into this situation. And he said, you're going to lose it. So I said, oh, so that means I shouldn't do it? He replied, no, you have to do it. I want you to do it because I want you to lose. It's a small loss, but you'll never learn listening to me. You'll learn by failure yourself. And so people have to experience losing and failure. And as long as it's on a small scale, it doesn't matter. But learning through experience, if it's not completely damaging, is more valuable to even listening to me here talking. So you might get some glimmer of thoughts, but nothing beats actually small failures to be able to build your own experience base and make decisions.
Yeah, so this is where I think the community also comes into play, is when we can share the experiences that we have and we can support in those failures. That way it's not an utter failure and collapse, but we can really be able to support and help each other be able to be moderate, if you will, or be able to learn the lesson. I think that's really the key element here, is always be learning. This is why for us, education is such a critical component of what we're trying to provide, especially when it comes to NFTs and when it comes to what the space that we're delving into is. How do we take all the stuff and just provide more education, because that'll just benefit the entire space and each one of us, and also as holders, and support each other. So that's just incredible words from our ArcFather. And segueing into the mediocrity comment that you're making, we are very clearly in the sequence of a huge amount of mediocrity coming into the marketplace, and seeing how where there's just so many projects out there. How do you really know? But I think on the back side of that, where the opportunity is when you can really assess and understand which teams are capable of coming out on their side and keep developing, and are can be taken from the wheat from the chaff and separate between the two. And that's one of the things that I think as an opportunity here is for the NFT space. I think very quickly is going to mature, and you're already seeing signs of this maturation happening, where some projects, some devs are realizing that you're running a business and they're going to quit because they don't have the chops, or they don't have the experience, or they didn't realize what they're getting into. And they're the ones where they are built for success and they are prepared for this particular incredible opportunity, are we going to come under the side of this? And once the playing field kind of all the non-players are then taken away, we will be able to see who are the ones who are here that are going to continue. So I think that's where the opportunity really comes in. And speaking from the NFT side of things, there's always going to be that cycle. And I remember in like March or April, or maybe it was May of last year, when everyone, there was this huge influx, relatively speaking, to all the project. The supply was way outstripping the demand, and everyone says the NFT market is going to collapse. And 2 months or a month and a half later, all of a sudden we were roaring back in action. And then when we were launching in January too, it's like, oh man, there's too many projects out there. What's going on? And all of a sudden in January, you see this huge resurgence. So this is one of the things that's so important. I think one of the lessons I'm taking away is from this past 18 months is really be in it for the long haul and learn as you go. And not to say hodl for the purpose of hodling, because I think that's counterproductive, because you could actually get hurt in just hodling for the purpose of holding onto your assets. But taking the approach of being able to see the bigger picture and keep growing and don't give up essentially in space. Because I know that right now what's going on, there's a lot of concerns and a lot of the news cycle. As the news cycles go, all the newspapers or the magazines or the blogs all kind of pile into one particular soundbite of NFTs or this or NFTs or that, or crypto is this or crypto is that. And it kind of builds itself up into its own cycle. So the news cycle itself reinforces itself. But I know that on the ground or under the ground, so many projects are developing, so many brands are developing that you haven't heard a peep from. And so what's going to come back on the other side of this, when and how long this process is going to take. It could be, a month, it could be a couple months, but just to really recognize that it is a cycle, and whenever the cycle does come back, I think we'll have a much healthier marketplace. I think the projects that are not meant to be will no longer be here. And the projects that are meant to be, that are going to be building for a 2, 5, 10-year time frame, those are the ones that we can really be able to start to support and see and watch flourish and really take NFTs to a completely different level. So for me, this is a very healthy thing. I think it's a very important thing as well. So a couple of things that I think from our community basis, we just wanted to share some of these thoughts that we have about our insights and be able to communicate that so that as a community, we can also share with each other and also support each other in that. So I think I know we were a little bit longer on this segment here, but I think we just got so many awesome gems from that. I'm going to throw it back over to Koichi if you have any follow-up questions for us, or throw it back over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say, Catbotica doesn't have the power to make ETH go up or down, but we do have the power to make an excellent project, right? And we have the power to deliver on excellence. We really want to focus on the things we do have power on, like delivering amazing product, coming here every week, being transparent, showing up, having fun with the community. I mean, those are all things that we have the power of. So let's have fun. Let's keep going. Let's stay together. And thanks so much, Jin, and thanks so much, Renee. It's actually really good to hear, more from the ArcFather this episode. So, Jin, why don't you let us know what's coming up? We got a lot of fun things coming up.
Yeah, so our events, again, this next coming weeks are going to be packed. Whether Ethereum is at $1,000 or $10,000, we're still going to be plugging away and just cranking. So this week, as we've discussed, the 13th to the 29th, we have Pangyo, the family event. It's really captured by 3 weekends, the first weekend, second, and third. We are going to be doing different things for each one of those segments. Then Permissionless in Palm Beach is going to be, I think, a pretty good event as well. I'm very much looking forward to go to Florida. So much action happening in Miami and Florida, in that region right now when it comes to NFTs and cryptocurrencies. So it's becoming quite the city for those kind of events, quite the state, I should say. VCon I'm very excited for as well. VCon with Gary B. He draws many people from different parts of different segments for different sectors. And because this is going to be central on NFT, very curious and very eager to see, especially with the current sentiment in the marketplace, where these thought leaders and where these other social or societal or cultural figures coming in, what their take is going to be, and if they're building towards something also in the long term. So I'm very excited for that. 520, of course, we got the NV1s. Super stoked for that. Hyundai department store credit card. We're just waiting for a couple of things to be finalized before we can really fully launch on that. But that's going to be just so much fun. The graphics we've created for that, I think people are going to get a total kick out of. So I think that's going to be. I mean, I would love to be able to get one of my own. I'm based in the U.S., so I won't be able to get a credit card from Hyundai department store, but certainly we'll be able to create something together. Then the Han River Cruise on 6/11 is also coming up very soon. And then 6/20 and 6/20/23 NFT NYC, we are going to be putting together an event there. So as we can finalize those details, we'll get them over to you as well. So a lot of stuff jam-packed, very excited, always excited. And we're just going to be here just plugging away.
Yep, and as always, we'll be here every week. And next week is May 20th, the big day of the NV1 drop. We'll be here at 7:30 to, talk about that and all the fun stuff happening. So we'll see you next week. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, guys.